I'm gonna show you today a couple of scenarios where you can use webhooks in your websites or in third parties uh, in external tools like selling tickets and then add it to a live webinar. But first, we're gonna see how we can connect webhooks and adding people who are filling in uh, details into a bot into your fluid form CRM. These are just examples. You can use webhooks for a lot of scenarios. There are a lot of possibilities and options, but we are going to show you a couple of them so you will find out what you can do with those webhooks. Well, let's just see. This is a Fluent CRM, the plugin. And as you can see here, there are a couple of subscribers. There are all subscribers. And actually, there are all test subscribers because this is a test website. But look at the emails and the names. And we are going to adding another person with the chatbots continually. But later on, I'm going to show you also how you can do it with Quriobot. So let's go to the test website and let's see what happens when we start the bot. And this is the website, and then the bot will appear. Wait, I have to close all those. When you're using the incognito, just toggle on this. Yeah. All right. Let's try it again. And then when we open and make sure that there are no other incognito uh, browsers open, close them all before you start this. Okay, let's start it. So this is continually and adds your telephone number. We can skip that. We don't need that. And then there's a little conversation, what you can do on the website and blah, blah, blah. You can adding whatever you want. Then we adding a name and we're gonna do Jaap. That's just an example name. You see here, Jaap. The last time I used case, but it's not a cold case, a winter case. And then we are going to use a fake email address. So this is the fake email. I'm going to copy it. As you can see here, there are no other emails than this standard email. So you can see there is nothing in here. And with this email address, there is also no person in to the Fluent Form contacts. And there is no subscriber on this website with that particular name. You see only case and this one, there are all examples. We are going to use the other person that we have embedded into the bot. So we're gonna put in the fake email. Can I have your email address? Yes, of course you can. So this is Jaap and this is his email address. And as you can see here, the charts opens and then you can have the chart conversation. When you're having on a mobile phone, then you can answer them and talk to them, but we're not going to do that. So we see here no Jaap, root form also no Jaap. When we refresh the page, then we see here Jaap. And when we are going to the contacts, then we see here Jaap. And when we are going to the email box of Jaap, and we have to refresh that. You see there is no email at all. Then we have to wait a little bit. It's taking a little bit time, so we are just going to look some other things that I've done because the email box is not loading on this time. Let's see. It takes a while because it's a test website, and it's a very cheap provider. Let's see, blah blah blah. Right, and that's where it takes so long, but whatever. We're gonna look at the email box later on. What I have done is, of course, I was going to continually. Oh, there is Jaap. How he's talking. And then we are creating another bot. This one. Uh, and then we go into the message. And then you can embed here the video, YouTube video. As you can see, it appears in here. And then we are going to the message. And you can see here the conversation. So this is a text field. And then the bot starts and you can put in whatever you want. May have your phone number. So this is from the select menu here, we have chosen the phone number, and then we are gonna adding another little text and photo, and then it asks what is your name. So they have embedded the name and what's your email address. So this is very important because we're going to use this. We need this for adding them to the CRM of our website. Then when there is a success, we putting the values, and this is the webhook that we're going to use. I'm going to show you where we grab that webhook from, and it must be post. The key name must be email, and the value must be something like this. And the name must be something like that. When you have done that, then you have to save the whole but, and where do we grab that webhook from? We grab that from the website. In this case, we are using Automator Uncanny Animator. And let's see what I have done. Um, I have made a scenario, and it's an anonymous visitor. And then we have embedded this webhook. We've chosen for a webhook, and then we put it into continually in here. And when we have done that, then we have to run the bot once, because you always have to, now this is very important what I'm going to say, you have to run always the tool that you are building once. So in this case, it's the bot. You have to run it. Otherwise, you won't get the values. And then what I've done is another action. And the action was set user data. We're using those tokens that we have grabbed from the values. So what happens is that the webhook responds and gives values, and those values are going to transform into tokens. These are tokens. So we use those tokens. We are going here to the star, and then you can see the webhook, and then the email and the name, and these are the tokens that we're adding because of those values that were coming in. So then you can use those tokens. So the first name is of course the first name. The email address is of course the email. So you go to the tokens webhook and then the email. And the passwords you can leave it blank, but when you're using just a fake password, then there will be not adding an email to the subscriber uh, to registrate. And you have to choose in this drop down menu for subscriber. Then you have to save the whole thing. The next thing that I have done is going to FluentCRM. I've added this tool, and then I have chosen for a list. In this case is Marco. It's just a fake list, but uh, then you have to save the whole thing, and don't forget that you have to toggle it on. So all the toggles must be on green. And when you have done that, then you go into the Fluent Form CRM. And when you are in the Fluent CRM, then you are going to automatization. Now, I have to say you have to follow first the whole process to run Fluent Form CRM, but you can watch other tutorials how you can do that. Anyway, we have made this automatization, and that is register a new user and make them a subscriber, and then save the whole thing. So these are the settings. And when you have done that, then you can go and make um, any other step that you want. You know, I've made an email address. So this is the email address. And what I've done with the email subject is hello and then contact first name. And you can grab that on here. And these are also tokens. So this plugin also makes tokens, and you can use that as well into your email. And you have to embed that token. When you have done that, then you have to save the whole process. And let's see if the email has been received. Here it is. You see that the email that we've made with Fluent Form is adding here with the name Jaap. Now I will recommend you that the subject you also use the name Jaap, because it's personally. Otherwise, they're thinking, well, there is another spam email. Let's just drop it away and delete it or whatever. So yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, so the bots started, they put in their name and then their email address, and it will be added into your websites. Now you can also do it, of course, with Quriobot, and I prefer to use Quriobot. I recommend you to use Quriobot because uh, the options in Quriobot are much larger than in Continually. And I bet that the guys from Continually will deny that. But well, that's just my opinion. I've made a lot of tutorials with Quriobot. So when you want to make that scenario for Quriobot, then you can also go into Automator, Uncanny Animator, and then you uh, can use the webhook from here at the webhook. So let's name it Quriobot. And then trigger a webhook and use this webhook URL and copy it and going to Quriobot and then paste it in here and then just paste it, save it, then go to the preview and then run Quriobot once. Email address is just the burn. Well, let's make another one. And that is Quriobot. Don't mention the spelling errors if there are spelling errors. So this is the same process. There is no email, then the standard email, and we use this fake email. And then we go into the Quriobot. And when you don't know how this all works with the step keys and that kind of things, just watch the other tutorial because I've explained it into other tutorial. But subscribe because I give you a lot of information for free, very useful. Then you're gonna paste it in here. No, oh, I'm so sorry. Of course, it must be the webhook, not the email address. What are you gonna do with the email address? So let's delete this and then save it. Well, I don't have to say it in this case because I already saved it. And then when we're going to preview it and then we're going to run the bot. But what we can do then is exactly the same thing what we have done with that continually. Now, what is the beauty of Quriobot? Well, imagine that you have this put in into your Facebook message. You can do that with Quriobots. There are a lot of tutorials how you can do this. So when somebody goes to Facebook and enter their email address and their first name when they are on Facebook, then they're gonna be added into FluentCRM CRM and into your websites. But yeah, you can also use the landing page of Quriobot. So that's also a possibility. And I've showed you many cases where you can use Quriobot and embed it in second part tools. So there are a lot of options that you can do with that. So they don't even have to go to your website. No, when they're embedding the details wherever the bot appears, then they will be adding it to the website. Now, isn't that great? So we have here Quriobot and get the samples. Then we have to go to Quriobot again to the preview. We have to make another. No, this one. This was the fake email that we have used. Okay. All right. Then we embedding the email address and then the first name. It's plaatsnaam, but it's spelled wrong. It must be first name. I'm a girl now. Sometimes I'm a girl. No, that's a joke, eh? I'm just a silly joke. I'm never a girl. But we watch then. Now it can take a while, and you can see here it appears, and you can use those fields, and then don't forget to make the email just an email. So you go to email and make it an email, and then you can do all the scenarios that you also did we also did with continually. Yeah, so it's an unnewer user, not an existing user, and the whole process again. And then you can embed Quriobot into your website, or what I said told you, you can use other tools or Facebook or something like that to capture email addresses. Now, the beauty of Uncanny Animator is that you can use the scenario that you've made, and you can add another action. And what the action must be is a webhook. And then what you can do is embedding the URL and choose for post. Now you have uh, a couple of scenarios: get, put, post. In this case, we want to use post. And what can you do with that? Well, you remember we have here a webhook. So what we can do is go to another website and make another webhook just like this, yeah, and then embed it in here in this website, and then run the plugin once one time, or the scenario. And what you will see then is that all the information that you have captured here, remember with continually or Quriobot, is going to be adding in to the other websites. So basically you have one website, and then you can capture the information, put them into Fluent Form CRM, into multiple websites. Uh, so you can, for example, make a deal with other friends of you that also run a website and say, well, I give you my contacts and you will give me, and I will give you my contacts and you will give me your contacts. So that can be a little bit tricky because you have to trust that person. But of course, if you run multiple websites, then you can do it also with the websites by yourself. Now, you can also use Elementor. Elementor also has emails, addresses. Sorry, webhooks, of course. Let's add in this one. And then you can go to the form. It's take a little bit because it's a very cheap provider. I told you, it's just for demo purpose. Then you go into the forms, and when you go into the forms, then you go into edit the form, and what you can do then, that is after submission, then you can use webhooks. Now watch. Oh god, sorry, there are no options in here for webhooks. See, there are no options, so you have to edit it here, and you have to choose for webhook, and then suddenly there it is, the webhook. So then you can put here the webhook URL. For example, if you are using public connect, then you can use the webhook from Elementor, and you can put it in a um, second part CRM program. For example, that is just an example. So you have to make a scenario, and then you have to copy this webhook URL. Then you have to go back to your website and put the webhook in here, then update it, and then you can go to the website and make a test with another fake email and another name. And what happened then is that you can have multiple you have multiple choices here in the Dropbox. So you choose here for Elementor, and a new submission we have choose for this one. Then capture the webhook and go into the CRM program and capture all those tokens that are necessary to run on this CRM program. And when we are watching this CRM program, I don't know if I have opened it. Um, well, maybe this for another time. Mm, Let's try it. If it doesn't work, then I'm gonna quit. Oh dear, my internet. Yeah, so I don't know if it's going to work. But when you have chosen for another action, well, these are also actions. Then you can use here the drop down and make a selection what you want to do next. So in this case, we want to add a client, and I bet that it doesn't go to work now. Well, anyway, I can't show you it now because probably the URL link is not good. But what happened then is that by this CRM program, they will be adding another client. Try it just once again, and if it doesn't work, then we're gonna skip it. No, it doesn't go to work. We're gonna skip it next time. All right, another scenario. What do we have here? We have here advanced frame, and with advanced frame we can buy tickets, for example 1 ticket, and when we do that we're gonna make sure that we have embedded all the necessary details. Let's make the email address, and then the first name is Peter, and last name is Posts, and the address is this no. All right, and then you agreed and you submit order, and there must be a city. Oh, Amsterdam, spelled wrong. Zip code is AM, and then when we're going to submit it, you can see what happens. We have made a ticket with that particular person, and it will be running into the inbox. But when we are going to the live webinar and we refresh this page, then we have added the person into this live room. Let's see, in this one. And when we are watch how many persons there are in this room, I'm sorry, then you can see that this one has been added now. So when you are watching this email address, we have bought a ticket, and then we have added them to the live advance. And so what you can do with this is make a live advance, and then for example use an YouTube tutorial, and once they have paid, then they're gonna see the YouTube video, and they are invited to the room. So what you have to do is go into integrations, and then you have to search for the webhook and edit them to this event frame. Maybe I'm gonna show you the details later on, but I leave it for now. I leave it for this time. I leave it for what it is now. If you have any questions, or if you want to see other tutorials about webhooks or something like that, then let me know in the comments. And I will see if I can make a tutorial for you for that. Thanks for watching. Until the next time. Bye.